Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are tackling one you've been asking for, a real generational clash.
It absolutely is.
We're putting the king of the monsters, Godzilla, up against the new kid on the block, the Defense Force's hope and terror, Kaiju No. 8, Kaiju No.
This is a crossover that, frankly, needs a serious technical look. We're not comparing apples to apples. It's two completely different ideas of what power even is.
Right. So our mission today is to pull the hard data, to get the definitive combat breakdown.
And this isn't just about who punches harder. It's raw, planet-cracking nuclear energy versus tactical human intelligence and this insane regeneration.
Exactly. And the fan debate is intense, so we need to be clinical here. We've got the specs, the power levels, the energy outputs, all of it.
We want to be the shortcut to you being well-informed. So we'll start with the newcomer, Kaiju No. 8, then lay out the sheer, almost insurmountable scale of the king.
And then the actual fight, the paths to victory, and finally the verdict based on the numbers.
We have to respect Kafka's genius. But, we can't ignore the laws of physics that Godzilla basically embodies.
Okay, let's jump in. The Ricky phenomenon. Kaiju No. 8. Now, in his world, he's a daikaiju, but he's so much more than a brute.
Oh, absolutely.
The defining thing is that human mind, right? He's a thinking, tactical monster.
That intelligence is a massive force multiplier. It's what makes him so different from the mindless things Godzilla usually just swats away. But before we even get to tactics, let's look at the raw power.
The numbers.
The numbers. Our sources highlight his fortitude level is 9.8.
And for anyone who doesn't follow his universe, a 9.8. What does that actually mean? It's huge, isn't it?
It is, quite simply, the highest level they've ever recorded. It means immense, almost unbelievable raw power.
So he can go toe-to-toe with anyone in his world.
He can, yeah. His whole style is close quarters combat, and when he hits, he unleashes these shockwave punches. We're talking about blasts of force that can just obliterate city blocks.
The localized apocalypse. I like that. So he hits hard enough to be in the fight.
Mm-hmm.
But the real game changer for him, in terms of endurance, has to be the regeneration.
Absolutely. The data calls it extreme regeneration. He can recover from wounds that would vaporize anyone else. We're talking lost limbs, his torso being blown open, and he's back in seconds.
But there's a catch, right? He needs energy for that.
There's the catch. It's a massive drain. This is really critical. Every time he pulls off one of those miracles, he's depleting his reserves. It's a finite resource.
So if you hit him with overwhelming, continuous damage...
You run his tank dry. Exactly. He can't keep it up forever. Unlike some other regenerators we could mention.
Okay, let's bring that intelligence back in.
Yeah.
Because he's not just healing, he's adapting. He's shape-shifting, forming jets on his limbs to move. He's unpredictable.
And that adaptability is really the key to his entire strategy against a foe like Godzilla. But here's the detail that makes this whole thing fascinating. His unique power.
Go on.
The research shows his energy attacks can actually interrupt and debuff the regeneration of other kaiju.
Okay, so that's the million-dollar question now. Could that debuff work on Godzilla?
Right.
He can slow down other biological monsters, sure, but Godzilla, he's not just biological.
That's where the rubber meets the road, analytically speaking. Kafka's power messes with biological processes. Godzilla's healing is, well, it's nuclear. It's powered by an internal reactor.
So it's like trying to put out a forest fire with a squirt gun.
It's like trying to stop a supernova with a wet sponge. The two systems just operate on such different scales that the debuff, well, it probably wouldn't even register.
So even his biggest trump card might be useless here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep that in mind as we pivot.
Indeed.
Let's move from the tactical daikaiju to the king of the monsters.
Yeah.
And we're talking the MonsterVerse standard here. And the first thing you have to stress is just the scale.
The scale is everything.
If Kaiju No. 8 is a tactical tank, Godzilla is a moving mountain range.
It's not just a marginal difference, it's existential. Kafka's maybe 30 feet tall, Godzilla is pushing 400 feet. You have to think about the volume, the mass. He's hundreds of thousands of tons. Kaiju No. 8 is, he's practically human-sized in comparison.
So any physical fight starts with Godzilla just stepping on him.
Yeah.
And not even noticing.
He wouldn't even know he'd done it, and that bulk translates directly into his durability, which is where most fights just end where they start.
How durable are we talking?
The word the sources use is absurd. He withstands thermonuclear warheads.
So wait, you're saying a literal nuclear bomb is just something he tanks?
Directly to the face, yeah.
Oh.
He tanks multi-megaton yields without any major trauma. He basically eats them for breakfast.
Okay, so for Kafka's punches to even, tickle him? He'd have to be putting out the energy of a nuke with every single hit.
And he just can't do that. He doesn't have that kind of sustained output. And now we get to the main event, the offense, the atomic breath.
This is the showstopper.
And we have to be really clear. This isn't fire. It's a focused, high-intensity beam of pure radiation.
It's an existential threat.
Absolutely. The sources confirm it. In the Monsterverse, he blasted a tunnel straight through the Earth's crust to the hollow Earth.
That's planetary level.
And the analysis says the energy yield of a single sustained blast is comparable to an atomic bomb per shot.
Hold on. Let's connect the dots here. If Kafka's regeneration runs on a finite battery, and one hit from the atomic breath is like a nuke going off on him, wouldn't that just vaporize his entire energy reserve instantly, even if it didn't kill him outright?
That is the core conflict of this fight. You've hit it exactly. An atomic blast is just overwhelming, instantaneous energy. Kafka might regenerate from a punch, but from total atomic level disintegration.
He wouldn't exist anymore for the regeneration to even kick in.
His power source would be gone, exactly. But, okay, there is a tiny glimmer of hope for him. The data says the atomic breath has a cooldown.
You can't just spam it.
He can't spam it. He needs to recharge. But even then, even in that window, Kafka is not safe. There's a passive threat.
Let's talk about that, because that gets overlooked a lot.
Okay, so imagine you're standing next to a leaking nuclear reactor the size of a skyscraper. Godzilla is constantly radiating heat and, well, radiation.
So just by being close to him.
Just by being within a few hundred feet, Kafka is getting blasted with lethal doses of radiation. He has to constantly burn his own energy just to survive the environment he's fighting in.
He's fighting the air around Godzilla. He's losing before a punch is even thrown.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that's before we even mention things like burning Godzilla or the new evolved form. If he gets pushed to that, it's not a fight, it's an execution.
All right, let's set the scene. Tokyo, both at their standard peak. What is Kaiju now? 8-8's past the victory. Is there one?
There is one, but it is a Hail Mary. The analysis calls it the surgical strike.
Okay, walk me through it. What does he have to do?
First, use his speed, his jets, everything he has to dodge that initial atomic breath. That's step one. If he survives that, he has to get in close, like right up against him.
And then what? Just start punching?
At specific spots. The gills, maybe the eyes. But even that won't kill him. His real goal, his only goal, is to find the core. The nuclear reactor inside Godzilla's chest.
Which is buried under, what, hundreds of feet of armor that laughs at missiles?
Right, so he'd have to use his shockwave punches to try and drill through. And this is where that debuff power has to come in. He'd need a long, sustained assault on one spot.
To try and slow Godzilla's healing down just enough to make a dent.
Just enough. And then after all that, deliver one final superpowered punch straight into the core.
That sounds basically impossible.
Yeah.
He's doing all this while being cooked alive by radiation, draining his own battery just to stay standing.
It's the tragedy of the matchup. His genius is wasted. The energy exchange is just broken. And anytime Godzilla just, casually swipes a claw, Kafka gets sent flying for miles and has to start all over again.
And that's assuming Godzilla doesn't just get annoyed and use his other big trick, the one that doesn't need a cooldown.
Yes. The nuclear pulse.
The ultimate get-off-me tool.
It really is. And the data is clear on this one. This pulse of nuclear energy completely disintegrated King Ghidorah.
A three-headed space dragon who is also insanely durable.
Exactly. So Kaiju No 8, who's mostly organic matter, he would be vaporized instantly. There is no regenerating from total atomic disassembly.
So if he gets close enough to even try the surgical strike,
he's triggered the very thing that will erase him from existence.
So we have a genius fighter who needs to pull off a perfect minute-long attack on a monster whose very presence is killing him and who has an instant win button.
That's the final synthesis from all the analysis. Kaiju No 8 is smarter, he's faster, he's a better tactician, but the gap between a high-tier Daikaiju and an Alpha Titan is it's too vast.
It's like a fighter jet versus a tectonic plate.
That's a great way to put it. Intelligence just doesn't matter when you're up against something that operates on a different set of physical laws.
Okay, so what's the final verdict, the bottom line?
It's pretty unambiguous. Godzilla takes it. The data projects he wins 99 times out of 100. That 1% is for some bizarre ambush scenario that could never happen in a real fight.
And that wraps up our deep dive. The key takeaway for you listening is that tactical genius, speed, regeneration, they are incredible assets. but they just break when they run up against superior durability and planetary level power.
They do.
Kafka's brilliance hits a wall, and that wall is made of nuclear physics.
You know, it's a great thought experiment, though. Because Kaiju No Not 8 has the spirit to win against anything in his own world, but it leaves you with this final question to chew on.
Yeah.
What is the limit of intelligence? Of tactics, when you're facing a natural force? Something like Godzilla's passive heat and radiation that beats you just by existing in the same place?
A force of nature. A brilliant distinction. Whether you root for the king or the rookie, we hope this deep dive give you a lot of new ammo for your next debate.
Until the next one, keep questioning the scale.